March 25th is the big day as Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson returns to Columbus, Ohio, in Mershon Auditorium to talk about the cosmic perspective. What's going on? Dave, the Arena Dude here. And Dr. Tyson, exciting to have you back in Columbus.
I'm excited to be on anybody's show called The Arena Dude.
We had such a blast with you last time at Mershon Auditorium, and it's exciting to have you back again. But one of the things that's kind of cool is if people saw the show last time, it's a different show. It's a different topic. What can people expect who are coming to the live show?
Yeah, thanks for asking. So, unlike most people who show up more than once, uh, um, I've actually prepared anywhere between dozen and 15 completely different talks that are offered to the venue. And the venue judges, well, what did you speak on last time? Any updates? Is it a different topic? Has the mood changed in the audience, in the
Yes.
country, in the world? And then they pick one. So I could return like 15 consecutive months, weeks, days. And so it's not like I'm on a tour to sell something, although there is always a book that I've written that I can sell.
Yeah,
There's
sure.
always a book.
There's
So
always a
that's
book.
there's always a book. There's always a book. So
This time we're talking
this
about the
time,
cosmic perspective.
oh my gosh, cosmic perspective. So this is something that continues to evolve relative to the meaning and value of astrophysics discoveries and their capacity to intersect with what people care about and think about and value. Cosmic perspective, you might have heard of the overview effect, where astronauts who've been into orbit, when they come back, they describe a change within them where the world looks different because
Yeah.
from up in space, of course it looks different, but it's emotionally different. It's not just intellectually different because you can't see national borders. Earth becomes this jewel, this precious object in the universe that is not just something you live on and discard. It's something you cherish, and you get to feel that way, especially from afar. Well, that's just a couple of hundred miles up. You feel this way because that's where orbits are, uh, Earth orbits. What a true cosmic perspective, you go to the moon, Mars, and beyond, and Earth is just sort of adrift in space. You see all of Earth, not just the piece of Earth below your orbital path. And recognizing that you see Earth the way nature had intended. And if you're religious, it's the way God had intended, right? It's God's view of Earth. What is that? It's Earth adrift in space, dotted by land, oceans, and clouds. And you think to yourself, oh my gosh, there are people down there who are slaughtering one another because they're born on a different line in the sand, because they worship a different God, because they sleep with different people, because their skin color is a little different from others. And you can't even wrap your head around those irrationalities when you contemplate the universe from afar. So contemplate Earth from afar in the universe. So this talk is a reset on people's sense of themselves and the relationship to each other, the relationship to the planet, and the relationship to the universe.
If families are thinking about coming together and maybe they've got some astronomers to be, we've got plenty of astronomy students here at Ohio State nearby, but what ages would you say are appropriate to come to the live show?
Well, I've never prescribed that, and so let me just give you just the facts.
Yeah, sure.
So people based on other videos they've seen of me, based on books I've written, this sort of thing, they have made their own judgment about they should bring. Typically, at every one of my talks, there's like a precocious 7-year-old
Yeah, sure.
or 8-year-old, and I see them in the audience, and I have to tell them, I say, when I was your age, I was asleep by now because it's an evening talk. The This particular talk, there's no vulgarity. I say that only because I give a whole other talk called "An Astrophysicist Goes to the Movies," and I show movie clips. And since I'm showing movie clips, I have to rate it according to
Yeah, sure.
the
Yeah.
picture. So that talk is PG-13 because an occasional word slips
Yeah,
out
sure. Yeah.
that you know the kids have heard their parents utter at home at some point or another. So I've seen that young. I might say realistically, anyone who's as young as 10,
Yeah.
who 7, it's you got to be a special kid at 7, but at 10, if you're anyone has showed any interest in the universe by then, definitely it'll still work for you. And the 5-year-olds, I don't know if I can keep their attention full time.
uh,
So my point is, I don't advertise it to kids because I don't
yeah.
want to call it a family show because the family shows are whole other kinds of destinations,
But it's a
especially
show. It's a
everyday.
show for everyone that some kids might enjoy.
Correct.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
the right way to think
All
about
right.
it.
So while I'm talking to you, when I knew I was talking to you today, I wanted to ask
And
this
I have to say,
question.
I love your backdrop.
Oh,
Just
thank you so much.
I love what you've done with your room.
While I'm talking to you today, there's been a lot of talk in the past couple months about all these files that are going to be released, and the truth is out there, right? So,
Well,
is,
you said that
is
great. The
there,
truth is out there. You said
yeah,
that
right?
in just the way you're supposed to.
So, do you, from what you've seen as an expert, are we expecting a news drop one day that's going to say, "Oh, by the way, we've known and that alien exists or there's life outside of Earth, and they were just keeping it in a secret file, and here it is for you to read."
Yeah. So coincidentally, in at the second week of May, so May 12th, I have my next book coming out. All right, it won't be out at the time of this talk, but
You can
it's
pre-order it.
more durable. Yes, which is, by the way, pre-ordering a book sounds weird, like pre-buying a theater ticket because
Yeah,
there's always a ticket you can buy. So it sounds a little weird, but publishers really like it if you do that because that they can. It's more efficient for them. They
sure,
know they can judge how many books should be in a first printing. They don't underprint, they don't overprint. It's just ecologically more sensible in that
it
way.
makes
So I'm
sense.
just saying that.
Yeah.
The book is titled "Take Me to Your Leader: Perspectives on Your First Alien Encounter." So I explore what it might be like knowing the laws of physics that apply across the universe and across time, but you give the aliens way better technology than we've ever come up with. You can grant them certain powers, certain capacities that we've yet to achieve, but one of them they cannot bend the laws of physics. That's not allowed.
Sure.
Okay, I give very good reasons for why we know that's true. And so now I explore that. And so in there, of course, I reference what was that documentary most recently, Age of Disclosure. I got to watch out because Steven Spielberg has an alien movie coming out called
Right.
Disclosure Day. And so one is a documentary and the other is a movie. It's Steven Spielberg's third or fourth alien movie, I think. He had E.T., he had
Close
Close Encounters
Encounters.
of the Third Kind. I think there was a third one in there. Um,
AI, I guess AI was kind of
maybe,
sci-fi, kind
maybe.
of sci-fi.
Yeah, maybe. And by the way, it's fun to go back and watch AI, just given what we know about AI today.
Yeah,
This is fun to compare and contrast. But anyhow, so you look at this, and by the way, I thought some files had already been released, or if not, people were talking about them, right? Because there's a parade of whistleblowing eyewitnesses to alien wreckage, alien bodies. One person declares that he was harmed by an alien. He had some kind of skin burns from encountering an alien. So if you have human beings describing this, then what do you need files for? Okay, just think about that. And if a human being is saying they're trying to cover this up, and here's what actually happened, and then shortly after the government said, "Oh, here's the official file," why would you believe that? Why would you believe anything the government's putting forth if you weren't believing anything before, right?
that's true.
But you believe people testifying. Okay, so I don't know what will be in the file. I don't think it matters, given that we have whole human beings of high rank commenting on what they have seen and experienced. Really, I just don't. And if the government says there's nothing there, are you really going to believe that?
Right.
If you right, so it's kind. And if they say it really is there, that's just what the people were saying.
Yeah.
So I don't see a new emergent state of mind to come from these files. Plus, it was in the moment, it was another good distraction that the president needs.
Yeah. That's a whole different perspective for a different day.
That's a whole other thing going on, right? And so my point here, if I were to draw a conclusion, is we're still in a stage where you have to ask someone, do you believe aliens are among us? And just think about it. Suppose, just toss it out there. Suppose only circus trainers and safari people had ever seen elephants. Okay, let's just say, or zoo people and suppose they're the only ones, and then they testify under oath that elephants exist. And then people make documentaries of their testimony, and they're describing elephants. And to us, it's like, what? It's got like solid tusks coming out the front, and it's got a flexible, long nose, and it's huge, and it's got wrinkly skin and big flappy. You would say, no, there's something wrong with you. What are you describing? But there'd be believers, there'd be skeptics, and all the documentary would have to do is present an elephant. Here's an elephant. Okay, we're done here.
Yeah.
That's a 10-minute story. Okay, five of those would be rolling credits at the end. And so I'm simply waiting for an alien to just walk into town, okay, or present itself. You also have to believe things like that aliens care only about visiting government installations.
Right. Yeah, sure.
That's a little weird too. But people say, well, they like the military because they're checking on our ability to
Sure.
commit violence, and maybe they're some kind of cosmic conscience, uh, uh, a peace loving aliens that just want to. Or there's the talk that you have a crashed saucer, and we quickly gather it up, we the government, to reverse engineer it. Because why else would we have such great technologies, especially in the 20th century, especially since Roswell in
Sure.
1947. You realize 3 months after Roswell, we broke the sound barrier? Just,
Just
just
saying.
saying.
Hey,
And 10 years after that, we had our first orbiting satellite. And then 12 years after that, we're walking on the moon. And then another 10, 15 years after that, we have personal computers. So if you don't know how science works or the pace of science, it sort of looks like we're getting help
yeah.
from somewhere else. But if you are a scientist, especially if you're a technologist, engineer, that's exactly how science works because it builds on what has come before. And when you build on something that happened before, growth is exponential. And because you're not starting from scratch every single time trying to get to a new place, you're starting from a new place every time.
Yeah.
So to say that it's because of aliens, you're denying our species the intellect that we actually harbor.
I could listen to you talk for forever, which the good news is you're going to do that. Mershon Auditorium, the show is March
I'm coming
25th.
back to Mershon
Yes.
Auditorium. Yeah.
Yes, back and look forward to having you back in town and talking about the cosmic perspective.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you. It's always good to come back to Ohio. But, the home state of Neil Armstrong.
Yes.
You all deliver us some astronauts.
Wright-Patterson Air Force Base, not too far away, right?
Yeah,
So,
and you guys were behind the eight ball when North Carolina declared first in flight.
right.
Okay, on their license plate, and everyone thinks the Wright brothers were from North Carolina. They're from Ohio.
Yes,
All right,
yes, indeed.
all right,
Hey,
guys.
always a pleasure talking with you. And for everybody, it's a great live show. Grab tickets and all the info to know before you go right now at mershonauditorium.com.